Welcome to Terrace Neighbors, the Terrace House podcast. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Courtney.
And today, we're going to be talking about episode 10, Before He Says the Words.
Ooh.
But before we get into that, so Courtney.
Yes.
I heard there's like a storm coming.
Oh, yeah. I think it's Hurricane Florence is her name. I don't know how they decide the names or if it's a boy name or a girl name, but I have a coworker whose name happens to be Florence too, so everyone's picking on her. Oh, Florence, how could you do this to us? Florence, what are you doing?
Cool joke. Real cool joke.
Poor Florence.
Great. But yeah, it's supposed to like hit you soon, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to come tomorrow. I don't know if it's tomorrow night or more afternoon, but it's not gonna really hit us directly, like we're still gonna feel it, but like everyone at work and everyone in my neighborhood, like I've been waiting for people. Are they boarding up their windows? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? And no one in my area is doing that. They did a mandatory evac for the coastal regions, but I'm outside of that, a little bit further in, so we should be okay.
I honestly have no idea where Charleston is.
Don't worry. I know
what state you're in, but I don't know where the city is in relative to other things like the ocean.
I mean, it could be anywhere from like maybe 45 to an hour to get to the beach.
Okay.
But if you want to get to the like more bigger popular ones, then it could take like over an hour, 2 hours.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know, just sort of like I was like texting Courtney yesterday and was like, so we're like planning on recording this episode tomorrow, but there's a hurricane coming and I've heard there's like evacuations and you're like, no, it's fine. And I'm like, but there's a hurricane. And you're like, I just have errands to run, I'll be home all day. I'm like, that's not like, no, I don't know. I feel like I have no sense of what like hurricanes are like, because we had like typhoons in Japan, but they like they usually came up via Okinawa, so by the time they hit Tokyo they were never very big, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a whole different mindset comparing them, because here, like, everyone's getting prepared, like, everyone, like, while I was at work, everybody's phone went off for the emergency warning when they first did the evac thing. I was like, what the heck is that? But last year, when I first got here, was around this time of year, and they had like a hurricane like around the same time. And I think the scariest part for me was actually the tornado watch warning thing, because I guess right after hurricanes you get tornadoes, and I didn't realize that, because
tornadoes are the scariest natural disaster, I feel like.
I think so too. You can't like prepare really for it. You just
like when we were living in Japan, we kind of experienced everything. So it was like usually there were a couple of typhoons each year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like between like late July through like September. But they were like, I remember we walked home in a typhoon once. We went. Yeah. Was it when we saw? Was it like a Hunger Games, or was it like Spider-Man or something?
I think it was Spider-Man.
I think, yeah, when we saw the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, we like there was a typhoon and we went to the movies. And we were like, let's just walk like the 30 minutes to this train station instead of taking the subway. And there was like nobody out, but it was super windy and very rainy. And it was like the trains were deserted once we got there. And I was like, oh, we probably should not have walked as long as we did. Yeah. So we had those. And we were obviously there for the really big earthquake. So we had like lots of really big earthquakes while we were there.
Right.
But I got kind of like desensitized to those. But it was like my last year living in Saitama. Like a bunch of tornadoes kept going through Saitama.
Oh.
And not even like that far from me. Like it wasn't in Saitama City, but like some of like the neighboring towns. There was like a tornado that went through and destroyed a bunch of houses. And then like they were talking about how Mount Fuji is due to erupt like like real soon. Like it's overdue to erupt. And I was like, yeah. I'm going to go back to California where I just have to worry about the earthquakes.
Yeah.
That's just the thing. And I guess forest fires. But
well, I think the forest fire seems like the bigger thing now over there. I don't know.
We're always on fire. We're just on fire all the time.
But yeah, I think that's the part I'm more scared about is the tornadoes. But if everyone else in my neighborhood, they seem to be pretty chill about it. Like my next door neighbor, she's like, no, we're staying. If you need anything, come over to us. I was like, okay. I just
That's
made
nice.
sure to fill up a bunch of any container I find with water. I'm gonna fill up my bathtub later tonight,
That's smart.
just in case. Got my flashlights. I also bought like some ice cream and some beers and alcohols and all that good stuff and wine. So I'm all set. I'll be okay.
God, do you remember when like the big earthquake happened and all of the stores got cleared out? And
Yeah.
like, wasn't it like beer was the first to go?
I thought it was toilet paper.
I mean, obviously toilet paper
Oh,
and
okay.
like the big bottles of water. But I want to say that like that when you went to the store, it was like the beer had completely been cleared
I
out.
think so. I mean, honestly, I get the idea from another guy that I saw. Like, I was getting gas, and I see this guy walking in the gas station or walking out, and he had like two big old boxes of like beer and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea,
Might as well.
right? If I'm just hunkering down at home, watch movies, eat ice cream, get drunk. It's not a bad way to spend, hurricane season, I guess.
I guess that's true. But I guess yeah. So I'm glad you're not gonna die.
Me too.
Um, and so I hope everybody listening to this appreciates the sacrifices that we are making. This free content that
Do
we
it
are
for you
giving
guys.
We're doing it for you, braving all sorts of terrible weather. But yeah, let's get into it. So this
right.
week we're talking about episode 10, Before He Says the Words.
Ooh, what words? What words he gonna say?
Will we find out? I don't know. But starting off with recapping the recap, the hosts talk about Minori and Uchi's nice date.
Mm-hmm.
Makoto giving Minori shoes. They say like the line like, "And I gave you the shoes" is gonna like go down in Terrace House history.
Yeah.
And then they talk about like Yuriko and Yuki's not their necessarily their plot, like their I don't know.
They're talking about how, I guess, a little bit messed up with Yuriko, kind of what she did
Yeah.
to him.
But like
So,
they like I guess to use a term that I think is used more in like Korean media, like their love line ended kind of with like a shock.
yeah.
At this point, like they're like Yuriko and Yuki, that's dead, that's gone.
Yeah, so, nope. No more hope for that one.
And then they made a reference that I did not pick up. They were like they started like singing a song and doing something I did not know what that was referring to.
It's probably a generation thing for us. I don't know. They're all older. Some popular song when they were younger. I have no idea.
I don't know, but they all started like referencing something, and I'm like, I get that this is supposed to be funny, but I don't know what it's referring to.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so then we get into the show.
So Minori is working hard at modeling.
Yeah,
At an audition.
yeah, she's auditioning for a runway show.
And then
For
when
a,
we, I was gonna say, and then we see her walk, and even before like the actual, the designer, is that what he is?
I don't know if he's a designer, but he probably
Runs the
it's,
show.
It's Jill for Jill Stewart, and I doubt that Japanese man is Jill Stewart.
Ah,
But he's probably like one of the guys who's in charge of like casting.
okay. No, it's like at first we see her walk, even I thought, I was like, oh, she seems a little stiff, and then he says like the same thing.
Yeah, and it was kind of embarrassing. Like, I mean, it's those sort of watching those sort of auditions are always embarrassing because they're in like a tiny room.
The tiny room, just 3 people, plus the whole, like, the camera guys.
Yeah, and they're in there for such a short period of time. Like, she just kind of walked in and
Yeah,
stood
she
there,
walked in, yeah,
and then like walked a bit.
and then walked out.
Yeah, they're looking for something kind of chic and carefree, but she's very stiff.
I mean, it's the first time,
Yeah.
too, so.
But they say that she, she has long limbs and she, wears the clothes well, which I think ultimately that has more for runway shows. I think that's more important.
I mean, that makes sense.
But yeah, she's auditioning. So the brand that she auditioned for is Jill Stewart, but the show that she's auditioning for is called Girls Award,
Okay.
like Tokyo Girls Award, which I think I accidentally called Tokyo Girls Style last time. That's an idol group. That's not a fashion show.
I mean, if I didn't correct you, then I didn't notice a difference, so no worries.
I'm like, yeah, so I think I called it Tokyo Girl Style. Tokyo Girl Style is an idol group. It sang a song called Himawari. That's a pretty good jam. I saw them in San Francisco once. They gave out little sunflower things on elastic bands so you could put on your ring, on like your finger, and they were like, hold your hand up with your flower and dance along with the music. It was fun.
That's cute.
It was cute. That's Tokyo Girl Style. Like Girls Award is a Tokyo fashion show that's been going on since 2009, so it's actually pretty recent.
Oh,
And I remember
okay.
when we were there, it was like one of their first years, and it was still kind of gaining speed. Um,
Okay.
but
Hmm.
it's not like, attached to like Fashion Week, but I think it's more like local brands and
Oh, okay.
oriented more towards like,
Is it more towards like a younger
yeah, it's in
audience? That's what it seemed like to me.
a younger audience. They talk about like being in front of 30,000 people, and I think it's open to the public.
Oh, that's
Like
cool.
it's not just fashion people there. Like you can
It's like
go and buy
everyone.
tickets. Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, so she's and then we go back to the house, and Yuriko's like out on the veranda or the balcony or the whatever that's called.
The
And
terrace.
the terrace, she calls her ex and asks if she can see him again.
And well, in the very beginning, it seemed like she was like talking like really, really politely.
Yeah.
And then, like as the conversation goes on, it seems like she gets a little bit more comfortable. But I don't know. That just stuck out to me. That was like that's like really polite, even though
Yeah.
someone she like
Yeah, I couldn't
knew.
tell if
I
she
don't
was
know.
actually talking to him or if she was leaving a voicemail. Because I always think
Yeah.
it's always awkward when you first call people. And who calls people in this day and age? What kind of young people call
Yeah. What is that?
others?
I mean, he texted her the first time. He didn't call her and leave a message. He just
I know.
sent a line message.
I know she called. She's like, "Thank you for your line message." I'm like,
Yeah.
that's so weird. And then downstairs we see Makoto. He's in like the playroom. He's playing a video game.
I didn't realize that in the playroom there was actually like a TV with like a
Yeah,
PlayStation because they
me
never show
neither.
that angle. And
They
so
never
it's like,
do.
oh,
I was like, oh, that's why it's called the playroom
I
and
mean, that
not
made more
the
sense.
three chairs in a
And
circle
yeah,
room.
and an ottoman or something,
Yeah.
whatever that thing is.
But yeah, so Minori comes in. She asks and starts talking to him, and she like says she wants to talk about his timing.
Well, basically, he comes out and says like that he was jealous
Yeah.
of the relationship with her and Uchi and how it was
Mhm.
developing, and then they weren't really going anywhere, even though they were the ones who were first hanging out and be all chummy.
Yeah. So he says like he sort of like had that conversation with her because he was afraid that like if he didn't act, she'd start leaning towards Uchi, and then like she said that she was like interested in him initially, but she didn't feel like he was following through with his promises to hang out.
Right. Yep.
And so then when she went on a date with Uchi, he like blew her off, but he's like, "Well, I wasn't really avoiding you. I was just jealous."
You just straight, but well, going back, it's like you told Yuriko you weren't even interested in Minori, and then all of a sudden reeling back, oh no no no, I was just jealous. So it's like that takes back everything before when I said I wasn't into her. It's like
Yeah. Jealousy is a very normal feeling to have,
yeah,
but it's immature to kind of take it out on somebody. Like it's a natural feeling, but it's not a feeling you have to indulge.
right,
Like that's part of being a grown up is like, yeah, it's natural to be angry or jealous.
but you don't have to hurt someone back or
Yeah. And like you can be jealous, and it's healthy to be jealous, and especially like when you're in that sort of vulnerable situation and you can't like you don't haven't committed to anything,
mm-hmm.
but like you don't have to let that influence how you act.
Right. I mean,
And
even if
like
he's
yeah.
jealous and stuff, it's like she said he would say he was if he's gonna he's not following through with what his he's not following through with what he says he's gonna do. So of course she's not gonna be as interested in him when Uchi is, hey, let's go out and let's do this or this, or I'll do this with you, and actually does it.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words. Hehehe.
And she like said that like but she laid it out, I felt like in a really good way. She was
Yeah.
just like, I know you're interested in me and this is sort of what I've experienced and this is how I feel about it. And she's like, I'm not really interested, like, I just want you to know that if I make efforts to spend time with you or hang out, that's not me responding to your feelings. You can essentially just take that possibility out.
Right.
Which isn't the best thing to hear, like, but I think it's good that she said it because
Yeah.
she was very like, I feel like we're on two different pages. I don't feel that way about you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to think that I'm like leading you along or that this is going to be a thing.
Go somewhere, yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm proud of Minority that she went and talked to him about this and
Yeah.
set things straight. Even though she said she wasn't like good at these sort of things earlier in the show. I
I know,
feel like.
like, I feel like if you compare like Minori and Yuriko, who've both in the past like 2 episodes have turned down boys who are interested in them, I feel like it's sort of like a Goofus and Gallant situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like Yuriko's the Goofus. She like had him treat her to the Blue Note and dinner, and then gave this whole spiel that ended up with, but actually I just want to get together with my ex. Whereas Minori was like, I'm just gonna pull him aside quietly in a private space in like a neutral area at our house, and I'm gonna explain and give him my side of the story and just lay it all out. I feel like so
Yeah.
she's the gallant.
Nice.
Yeah, and then when Makoto goes back to the boys' room and he talks to the other boys about it, like Uchi says something really good. He continues to be the best boy. In which like he says that like Makoto can't really expect a clear answer when he's like if he's not going to tell his feelings clearly.
Right. If he's not going to be clear, she can't be clear.
Yeah, and I thought that was a really good I like that he said that.
Yeah.
That was a good thing to say, Uchi.
Uchi is spitting truths out here, man. Just talking
Exactly.
straight truths. Also, I think it's interesting that Makoto went and like reported his rejection to everybody like immediately.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I don't know if I would necessarily want to tell everyone that and just let it, okay, I was rejected, but I don't want to like I guess tell everyone, just go about acting normally, or our friends or acquaintances or whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, the hosts kind of talk about that, like, because Ayumu says, like, he wanted to see Makoto kind of maybe pass the baton over or kind of have that moment of closure where he, like
good luck.
Yes, he wanted Makoto to wish Uchi luck. The sort of like, well, it didn't work out with me and Minori, but I wish you luck with Minori, which I feel like is probably given Makoto too much credit.
Yeah, I don't think he would do that. So
You sweet child. That's probably not how. That's not how real people interact with each other. But then like Yamasato next to him is just like, yeah, I bet Uchi was trying really hard not to laugh in his face.
yeah, just be like, hey, that's what you get, man. But
yeah, and so the next.
Oh, I like the part where they're practicing, right?
Yeah,
With
so we
Minori
go back.
and her walk.
Well, we go back to the house, and Uchi, Mizuki, and Minori are on the couch. They're just kind of talking. Minori says she's been practicing like her runway walk, but she passed her auditions, which is yay. But now she needs to practice her walk and get comfortable with it. But there's a little moment that was absolutely wild, but was not a conversation point for very long. In that Uchi says that a girl came all the way from Hokkaido to see him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think she came to his work or something.
But was it someone he had known previously from school, or it was because
no, he just
she
said,
saw
like,
them on the show
yeah,
and then came from Hokkaido?
I think it was a fan of, like, Terrace House who came from Hokkaido and, like, saw him. And, like, that's... I mean, maybe she didn't come all the way just to see him. It could be that she was, like, in Tokyo but recognized him, that sort of thing. But that's very, I don't know, that's very bizarre to me.
Because it's like she's seen your life on TV, and then
Yeah.
And then now you talk about her on TV, and then she's watching you talk about her on TV.
And there's a moment later when Yuriko's meeting up with her ex, and he makes a joke about her bringing, like, Hepalise.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was just this moment, it, like, made me cringe. It was like, don't acknowledge it.
The first rule of Terrace House: we don't talk about Terrace House.
We don't talk about Terrace House, which is just, it's so bizarre to me how quickly they started airing it as they're still recording it, because I'm so used to like shows being like
It's over after like months, and then they show it.
yeah, or at least like be wrapping it up.
Yeah.
But the turnaround is so fast. Like, I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast, but there's a television show called Last Cinderella, which is my favorite Japanese drama. It has all of my favorite tropes. It has Miura Haruma, who's the most beautiful man on earth.
The most beautiful. I love him.
And it
so much.
has my favorite trope, which is older woman. I mean, this is more extreme because she's like 40 and he's like 23. But it's like the older woman who's put her career first, and now she's having this whirlwind romance with like a young, cute guy. But I think as they were airing it...
Because wasn't she supposed to end up with the older rival and not Miura? Or was it the other way?
They had set it up. I think they allowed people to vote for
Oh,
who she
okay.
could end up with, because like they set up her with Miura Haruma's character, and then kind of halfway, like towards the end, they kind of break up, and she starts, developing her relationship more with the other love interest, and it's like literally like the last episode. It's like, who is she gonna choose?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember because it was airing when we were there, and I don't remember 100%. But I think they allowed you to vote for who you wanted her to end up with.
Of course, everyone's gonna pick Miura Haruma. Like, who
Of
wouldn't?
course. And I've watched it several times, and each time I'm just like, yes, that's the only correct choice. Like, he's a good guy. The other guy's a good guy. But it's Miura Hanuma.
Haruma.
He's a professional BMX rider, and he's like a puppy, and he has floppy hair, and he thinks you're adorable.
And I love his mole and like when he smiles in his eyes.
I just would like everybody to know that Courtney had a Miura Haruma calendar on the back of her door, so whenever she opened the door, it was the first thing you saw.
And I have that same poster now in this room where I record. He's in his little hammock looking at me as I talk about Terrace House.
We are a Miura Haruma household. I will post those ads that like the air conditioner
Yes.
ads where he's like
In his little shorts?
in his little shorts and he plays the violin and he claps while his mom sings enka about air conditioning and saving energy. It's so good.
Oh, save that energy.
Oh, Setsu did. Where were we?
About practicing for
Well, I guess
the
that's
runway.
we went off on something, but now we're back. So yeah, so they're practicing her thing, but it's so cute because like Uchi and Mizuki are just so helpful.
They're so supportive. Of course,
I
Mizuki
know.
would be helpful. She's the big sister.
Because Mizuki's just like, well, we've been practicing. Like the two of us have been practicing, and Uchi's like, well, you should come in for like a hair treatment massage thing, and I'll get you like all good. And it's just like, oh man, they're so supportive. My mom and dad, Uchi and Mizuki. And so the next scene we see.
Is that's Uchi doing her hair, right? Or no, he just promises to do her hair. The actual scene comes up
Yeah,
later.
the next scene
okay.
is him at work, and they're having like their morning meeting. They say they're they're actually gonna be doing some of the hair and makeup for the girls' award show.
I was wondering about that because it's like, oh, that seems like an interesting coincidence, or if it was all kind of coordinated to be that way. That's what it seems like.
And part of me kind of wonders like how much of like not to say that Minori couldn't have passed the audition on her own, but
How much does the show influence
yeah,
her getting
and
picked? Yeah.
same with like Uchi's salon doing the hair and makeup for some of the models. It's like how much of that was arranged because this very popular television show was like, ooh, we can have them work together. That sounds good. But I don't know, they talk about something interesting I noticed. I mean, I don't go to very many fancy salons here, but like I've noticed that salons in Tokyo are really heavily staffed. Because they talk about like, well, we're going to be really busy today, so coordinate with your assistants. And I've never been to a salon here where there are assistants.
Oh.
But my salon in Tokyo, there were assistants.
I rarely go to like a professional to get my hair done, and I think it's been like years since I've done it. I was still living back in Alaska, but I don't know. And I never did it when I was over in Japan. I just never. I should probably go and have some like a professional look at my hair and cut it and stuff. I just kind of. I should probably take better care of it. I don't know.
Like I go to the salon like essentially every 2 months.
Okay.
To get my roots bleached and my bangs trimmed. And like the salon I go to now, like it is like a suburban salon, but it's still professionals. But I just have like my one stylist and she does everything. But when I would get my roots bleached in Japan, it was like my main stylist who was actually ended up being like the owner of the salon. I had another guy, but I didn't like him very much. I couldn't remember his name when I called back to make another appointment, so they gave me to a different person.
Oh.
I ended up having like the owner of the salon was my primary stylist. Like he would just be there for like the consultation. Like he'd be there and he'd ask me what I wanted, and he would like like kind of get it ready. But when it came to actually like putting the bleach on or washing my hair or drying it, it was always assistance.
It's almost like a dentist style
Yeah, I was gonna
kind
say
of thing.
it's like going to the dentist. Like you only see your dentist for like 10 minutes, and the rest of it's like an assistant who's doing it. I found that like really interesting.
I don't even know if my like main dentist would see me for 10 minutes. Like last time, I actually have to go to the dentist next week. But
Ooh,
last time I was there, I had the lady, she cleaned it and all that, and they always ask you all the question about your life, and they always remember you, even though it's been 6 months that you last saw them. They remember everything you told you. It's just cool.
yeah.
But then, like, the dentist came in, and she's like, "Well, your teeth look good. I literally have nothing to talk about your teeth." Like that, she said that I have nothing to tell you about them because they look good. I could talk about like Invisalign brace things if you want, or we got a pamphlet if you want that. But other than that, your teeth are just fine. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, maybe one day if I go back over to Japan, I'll finally go to a stylist, get
I
experience
I
myself.
could never go back to that salon. So it was like literally the last time I'd been there, and we were getting my hair cut, and he was like, "Oh, what are your plans?" and that sort of thing. Are you going back for Christmas? And I was like, "No, I'm not going back to America for Christmas. I'm going back in the spring." And he's like, "Oh, not forever, are you?" And I got
Oh,
really anxious, and I went, "No, not forever, just for a little bit."
and then never came back.
And then I never came back. And I actually sent a friend of mine, I referred her, and I think she might have said that they asked about me.
Oh my god.
I ghosted them. It was one of those moments where you say it, and then like immediately you're like,
Oh
why
no.
did those words come out of my mouth? That's not what I meant to say. But then
Oh
they were like, see
no.
you next time. And I was like, yeah, next time.
Next time, yeah,
It's
for
not like I'm
sure.
moving back to America in a month, but
Oh man.
but
Just come back and act like none of that ever happened. What are you talking about? I haven't been gone for a couple of years. What?
yeah, whatever. But yeah, so then we go back. They cut to Marunouchi and Tokyo Station's gorgeous facade.
Mm-hmm.
Tokyo Station is so beautiful. They've kept the old style like station on the outside, so it looks like you're back in time.
It looks really good. I like it.
Yeah, they were renovating it right before we left.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't think they'd finished it before we left, but now it's like all renovated and beautiful. And I know like if you go in one entrance, there's like just the giant domed roof, and you can see it, and it's like feels all old timey, which I know probably doesn't sound like much because I'm sure there are lots of really old train stations in the States or in other countries, but
I mean, there's.
Japan likes new things. They don't like
Yeah.
old things when it comes to like buildings and stuff.
I feel like the style though is more like you'd see more like maybe in Europe or something. But I don't know anything about architecture.
Yeah.
I feel like train stations in the States aren't as nice. I don't know.
Yeah. But like Marunouchi is this kind of like businessy district, kind of upscale. It's like where like the Imperial Palace is, and you have Tokyo Station, and you have like a bunch of like really old corporations that are there.
And this is where Yuriko is meeting. Now he's no longer Mr. Yuriko. We learn his name is Tadamichi.
Actually, can I say something before we get into that part? Just more about
Yes.
Marunouchi.
Yes.
There is a song by Sheena Ringo called Marunouchi Sadistic.
Ooh.
That the lyrics are all built, they're all made out of lines that she heard like around Kodakuen, like around Marunouchi.
Oh, really?
So like if you read the lyrics, they sound sort of nonsensical. Like the first line, this translation I'm saying right here is like the
Uh-huh.
rewards on the parallel lines after joining a company. I love Tokyo, but there's nothing there.
Oh. But is actually someone said that?
Yeah, or like there's like one of the lines is like ryo shusho kaite chodai, which is like give me a receipt. Or zeirishi nante tsuite inai Korakuen, like there are no tax accountants here in Korakuen. Or like and in one of like the choruses, pizza no kanajo ni natte mitai, like I want to try being like a pizza place girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's really early Shinadinko writes songs about Tokyo. And so you have Marunouchi Sadistic, which is about like the Marunouchi area, and then she has like what's it called? Yami ni Furu Ame, which is like talking about like riding the Tozai Sen, like the Tozai subway line, like on a really hot, humid, rainy day in Shinjuku.
Ooh. Okay.
And one of my favorite song by her, or one of my favorites, is Sumito Butts.
Oh, okay,
Which,
that's the one I know.
yeah,
Because you sing it.
I sing that one at karaoke all the time. But it's about walking around like the Shibuya Harajuku streets, like late at night when everything's kind of closed, and then like the glow of like the station sign and like sirens kind of. But like on a winter's day where it's really cold, but you're just kind of walking around alone with your thoughts. Um,
See, that was my first introduction to her through you.
yeah,
Because every time like you say her name, that's the first song that pops in my head. Well, it's like the only song I know by her, but still.
yeah. So her more recent stuff is really good. She gets like experiments with jazz, and she goes through like a French phase where she like sings in French. But her earlier stuff is very Tokyo focused.
Well, I like that she branches out into, I don't know if they count as different genres, but different, playing around with style and stuff like that. It's kind of cool.
She was in charge of doing the music for the Japan closing ceremonies at the Rio Olympics, because like they have like the performance from the next host country. She did all the music for that. It was actually like a lot of it was stuff from her latest album, which I was like, you just put your own stuff in there. But I think she might continue to be in charge of the music for the opening ceremonies, and if so, I'm very excited.
That's awesome.
It's done just for me.
She's like, ooh, Taylor's watching. Yep,
it was just for me. I was really, really excited. But anyway, that's about Marunouchi, and I will tweet all of these songs on our Twitter, because
good.
I'm excited. But anyway, so they're in Marunouchi, and Yuriko is getting dinner with her ex, Mr. Yuriko.
And then we learn his name is Tadamichi. I didn't write down his last name.
Not important.
Yeah,
I didn't even write down his first name.
Oh, okay.
I was just
I couldn't remember if I'd written it down, but I did write it down. So I'm like, oh yeah, Tadamichi. And like you already said earlier, like he kind of first references the Hippolyte thing.
Yeah.
But I wonder if she normally does like bring in the Hippolyte thing.
Yeah, is he
dates
making a
and
joke because that's something that she always does, or is he referring to
the show? We'll never know, I guess.
Because I mean everybody has like their flirting moves, right?
Yeah.
Mine is, the only way I know how to flirt is to take pictures of cozy mystery covers, which is a genre of book. They're like mysteries that are not as dark and edgy, like more like Murder, She Wrote.
Okay.
Than like classic mystery.
Okay.
But the titles always have ridiculous puns.
Really? Okay.
They're very funny. Like what's one? Let me pull up my phone. So the only way I know how to flirt is to text whoever I'm crushing on or dating at the time. Just cozy mystery titles. Let's see, what are some that I've sent? Another one, Bites the Crust.
Oh my god. Is the picture like a pizza shop?
No, it's a pie, but the pie has a skull on it.
Oh.
Dim Sum of All Fears.
Oh my god.
A noodle shop mystery. A salted caramel.
Yes.
An Amish candy shop mystery. What's some more? Yappy Hour.
What?
Which has a photo of a bunch of little dogs at a bar.
Oh my god.
What are some more?
And what'd you call the genre? Cozy mystery?
It's literally they're called cozy mysteries.
Okay,
here's another one. Clobbered by Camembert. It's
my
a
God.
cheese shop mystery. Other ones in the series are As Gouda as Dead.
Yes.
Or For Cheddar or Worse.
The cheese ones are good.
Against the Claw, which is a lobster shack mystery.
Nice.
By the author of Curses Boiled Again. And then my favorite is the Taste of Texas mystery series, which include titles such as Here Today, Gone Tamale.
Nice.
Cinco de Murder. And The Good, the Bad, and the Guacamole.
Yes.
And those are all ones that I have texted the person I've been sort of seeing. So that's how I flirt. That's always been how I flirted. I don't know any other way. It's just text them one every day until they love you.
I mean, that's a pretty good strategy, I think. Although, is it bad that when you first said cozy mystery whatever covers, I was thinking like the ones that are like, I guess they're more like the romance novels where the guys are shirtless and like
Yeah,
super
those are
ripped
romance novels.
yeah,
Those
I
are
was
for
like,
me.
wait, what?
Yeah, so I wonder if that's like Yuriko's move. Like she brings Hepelize when she goes out with people, and it's
I
like her
mean,
little like aren't I cute sort of
aren't I
thing.
cute and helpful and resourceful? Look at me.
Yep.
Although I feel like, I mean, I'm sure it's like kind of awkward for both of them.
I was kind of surprised by like he looks a lot more normal.
Yeah.
Or like a little dorkier than I thought. Like he seems like he's actually not a terribly terrible guy.
No.
Because like the way that she described him and the way that like kind of the way that when he reached out to her made me kind of think like, oh, maybe he's like this handsome playboy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, he's wearing a sweater. He's fine.
I mean, they did say their breakup was not like a bad one. And I don't know if she was the one that wanted to break up. And I forget if who said. I mean, it was just mutual, or if she wanted
I think
more.
it was probably more mutual because she says that they broke up in a really positive way.
Right, because they're just both busy, and it was bad timing and stuff.
Yeah, and like she says that she hasn't been able to move on, and she still likes him. But like he says, like he wants her to focus on her exams, and he won't give her an answer until she's done.
Yeah, what a good guy. Focus on yourself and your education, because girl, your education is important. I care about you.
I think Yuriko dyed her hair. It looks
I don't
darker.
remember.
Like it's not like black, but it's like a dark brown. And I think her hair was lighter before. I mean, it could also be the lighting.
Yeah.
But I think she did dye her hair because she looked a lot more serious.
Yeah, and then just in general, she didn't seem sure of herself, and I guess I noticed she was kind of laughing to avoid answering some questions. Or there was a question he asked. I don't remember what it was, but I just remember it's like she was kind of like laughing and not like, okay, I'm gonna go on to this topic now, or ignore what you said.
So, but like now I'm wondering like, well, why did he reach out the way that he did? Like, if he's not wanting to like get back together right away,
I guess he generally just is like, hey, I hope you're doing okay.
He genuinely just wanted to know how she was doing.
Yeah, you doing okay? Do good in school, get good grades.
We're all like, what ulterior motives does he have? And it's just like, oh, none. He's just a good guy.
Just a good guy. Now it jumps to the good part, right? With Minori and Uchi.
Yeah, because we kind of have these two happening kind of like going back and forth. So we have Yuriko with her conversation. At the same time, we keep going back to the salon where Minori's getting her scalp and hair treatment, which looks very nice, and I want one.
This was my favorite part.
Oh my god, it killed me. It killed me, Courtney.
So romantic.
Oh my god.
I want someone to rub my head the way Uchi rubs her head with his face like right in her face.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, because she's like reclined back and he's doing like this sort of steam treatment, probably aromatherapy thing, and he's like massaging probably like oils into her hair, and she has like a wet napkin thing on her face. It looks very relaxing. And he's doing it, but you could just tell he's just like, he's getting his face is so close to her face. And there's this point where he just like kind of closes his eyes and lets his face kind of drift really close to her forehead. And you can just kind of tell that he's just like exploding on the inside.
Yeah.
Like, those moments where you're just like, I am so infatuated with you in this moment that I'm just like, my internal organs are melting. And I can't take it. And that's made me do the same thing while I was watching it with my eyes.
It was so good.
It was
just like when it like cuts back to the host and they're like, oh my god, look at the way he was just like massaging her head and was right there.
They got a lot more raunchy with it, but with him it was just more like he was just
it's such a cute moment. I loved it.
I can't explain. I can only screech.
I mean, that seems like a pretty good explanation to me.
I can't words. I can only go, ah! What's happening?
Oh my goodness! Ah!
Just, you have to watch it. If you are listening to this podcast, but you don't actually watch Terrace House, I keep wanting to say Terrace Neighbors, but that's us. If you don't actually watch Terrace House, and you're like, I just want to follow them describe it, watch this episode, or at least just fast forward to that part. Because it's so good.
some good stuff right there.
It's, oh my god, it was like just everything that you want in like a romance novel or like a really good shoujo manga or
Yes.
Korean drama. Just the
Yes.
tension and just the pining. Oh, it was immaculate. Just my compliments to the chef. Thank you.
Delicious.
And then Minori says she'll make him pasta as
Which is also delicious.
Literally delicious. And yeah, and then she's like, I'll just do it tonight. And they go home and she makes some pasta and he gives her 100 points on the pasta.
It was some good looking spaghetti. Good looking spaghetti.
What was it? Was that mentaiko or was that meat sauce?
There was some kind of meat sauce, I think.
Okay. Because I just see old pasta and I just assume that it's mentaiko spaghetti.
I know. Yeah, I think it was just regular meat sauce.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I've noticed something. Like, I think it's because they usually eat chopsticks, but I've noticed that when Japanese people eat, like, spaghetti, they do it really formally with the spoon.
Spoon and the fork.
The spoon and the fork. I'm like, yeah, that's really good table manners. That's how you do it at a fancy place. But most people just use the fork and just slap it against their face and hope it gets in their mouth.
I mean, I didn't know you could use a spoon to eat spaghetti. I never thought of it until I think over there. I think I was with my sister and she ordered like pasta or something. They gave her a spoon and a fork and she picked it up and she had the spoon and she twirled the fork with the spaghetti on the spoon and made like a perfect little thing. I was like, how do you know how to do that? We were raised by the same parents. And we never had such an upbringing. I don't understand.
Oh, you've missed the part where your sister went to finishing school?
I guess so. I maybe when I went away for college, she did some other stuff I didn't know about. She got in trouble and then she had to go to boarding school for like a month or something. I don't know.
Something. Who knows what younger siblings are up to when you go off to college?
Bettering themselves, bettering their manners.
Surpassing us.
Yeah. How dare she?
But yeah, so they have dinner and it's really nice. It's just, they feel very comfortable because he invites her out to get food once the show's over, like when she has free time again.
Yeah.
And it's just so casual and comfortable, and it's not like, it's like this, it feels like there's no nerves or like any sort of like.
Just good and wholesome.
They're in that point where it's like, they're not officially dating, but they've acknowledged feelings, or at least he has.
Yeah.
So they're both like upfront about it.
There's no games.
There's no games, and there's no like kind of subtle like, oh, I want to come across as cool. They're just like putting themselves out there.
Also, like, I think this also after, I think the hosts kind of reflect on how they were bad-mouthing Uchi, all like in the very beginning, making fun of how his voice is high and all this stuff. They're like, man, but now we realize he's best boy, and we messed up. We messed up. And then we see like Mizuki is helping Midori walk, and she's just so sweet because she's not just like, yeah, we'll practice. Like, she's filming it and she seems to be like giving good feedback because she's like, oh yeah, you no longer do that thing with you where you put your foot out, like, oh, you're getting better. And like, she's just genuinely actually helping her and really supporting her.
It's just like, it's so wholesome. It's so wholesome, this episode.
Amongst these three. Yeah. Yuriko and
Makoto and Yuki are off doing whatever, but these three are just being so good. I love them.
They fill my heart with such joy.
They're just the best.
Also, I feel like we've been having a serious lack of like Mizuki as a main person lately. It's like, where has she been? Where is my beautiful goddess with her hair and her coffee for everyone and amazing cooking and more swimsuits, please?
Yeah, I really hope we get more Mizuki in the next couple episodes.
I need it. I'm missing it. Like, it feels like the past 3 or 4, I don't know. It just seems like it's been a while. I miss my girl being like the focus.
Every time she's on screen, it's like she like brightens up whatever scene she's in, but she's not involved in any of like the big romance plots or whatever. She's outside of all that date. Like, honestly, I feel really bad because she's so perfect and wonderful, and yet she's been sort of relegated to the platonic supportive best friend role.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you deserve better. Where's our B plot where you
they don't deserve her.
They don't deserve her.
Someone else will come along who'll deserve her, I'm sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so the hosts talk a bit. They talk about all the head touching. Tokui and Yu get a little too carried away, and they're like, "Oh wait, there's an actual child here. Let's like."
Let's reel that back.
But I find it's like really cute because they all call each other sensei. Like even Ayumu is Ayumu sensei,
Oh.
which is really cute. Like, cause I do like that because like they're commentators, and that's like they're kind
But
of
everyone's kind of equal.
yeah, but they're
doing
like
it that way.
and they're also given like a degree of respect. Like they're not just some like random comedians who are there to like make it more entertaining. Like they're also kind of valued for their analysis.
Mm-hmm.
It is like Ayumu sensei. Like he may not bring a lot of the jokes, but he might bring some good insights. And
Well,
so
he
he's
does
Ayumu
actually
sensei.
every now and then. I do like his comments, or when they ask him, well, what do you think? And then, like for this episode saying, well, I wish she would have told him, good luck. Or
Yeah.
there's been some other past things where he's made comments about Makoto there. You're like, yeah, I get behind
He's-
what you're saying.
He seems to be a very intelligent kid,
Yeah.
which is nice. But yeah, of course, so yeah, like Tokui just kind of like is like the crass old man, and they all like apologize for the
I
jokes
think he's trying to corrupt Ayumu.
Yeah, and then Yamasato, like, he apologizes, but he turns it into a joke where he's like, yeah, it was, because of course.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get our last scene of the episode.
Ooh.
And
Yes.
the boys are in the playroom, and Makoto is talking. He says, once, baseball's ending soon, so he has to decide what he's going to do next and where he's going to go. And that's something that he considered doing in the house, but he's not sure if he wants or even can do it in the house. So he's going to be leaving.
I'm out of here.
Yeah. And then it's over.
Yeah, no one else got to say anything back. They didn't show it right. It's just, I'm leaving once baseball's over. Then boom, end of episode. Run the credits.
It was so abrupt, especially since he had like all these like little quiet moments throughout, and then it's just Makoto's just like, I need to think about my life, and I'm not going to do it here, so I'm going to leave.
Maybe that's for the best for him. I don't know.
I mean, part of me kind of wonders, like, is he doing it because he got rejected by Minori? Is it because like Minori and Yuriko are both off with other people, and he's like doesn't see like
where I fit? Yeah.
Yeah, like let's say that he came onto the show because he wanted to meet girls,
Right.
and all the girls have paired up, or he's just not interested in Mizuki because he's a fool.
Yeah. What the heck, man?
Then what's the point of him staying?
Right.
Especially if like he developed real feelings for Minori or Yuriko, and now he has to watch them like get closer with someone else.
No.
He's obviously not emotionally mature enough to deal with that in a healthy way.
No. I mean, and even then, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like Makoto's, I don't know, tried very hard. I don't know if that's the right phrase, but like even with baseball, doesn't seem like he's trying that hard. So it's just, I don't know. I think leaving the house for him is probably a good decision to get his stuff sorted, whatever he's gonna do.
And personally, I'm not super sorry to see him go.
Not really. When we first started, from episode 1 to now, it's just like, wow, Makoto, how you have fallen.
Yep.
I was rooting for you.
We learned a lot of negative things about him, which might also be another reason why he's leaving.
That's
He's
true.
not been portrayed in the best light.
And we're seeing how quickly they put out the episodes and stuff during like real time. I mean, I don't know what everyone on Twitter and stuff is saying about him. And
Yeah.
he would definitely be one of the unpopular characters on the show for everyone. So
Exactly.
I'm sure that doesn't feel good either.
But yeah, so then that's how they end the episode. Just Makoto's gonna leave. The end. The end.
I mean, I do wish him luck though, and that he, figures it out. I don't know how much they're gonna show of him in the next episode. I'm sure there'll be like his little moving out montage or something. I don't know.
I know it'll be interesting to see how people actually react. 'Cause we don't really see much of a reaction from the other boys. They kind of talk about it, but they don't go like, oh. They don't like really discuss it.
Oh my God! Why
What?
are you leaving?
Eh?
I mean, I'm sure for Uchi, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Probably a good thing for him.
Do you need help packing? I can help you
Yeah.
pack.
Oh yeah. Oh man, really? I already got your stuff packed. Great.
Do you need help carrying it out to the car?
Yeah, I'll drive
go
you.
Yeah. Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see where they go next,
Yeah.
especially since next episode Episode 11 is called Boy from the Rainbow State,
Rainbow State.
which is Hawaii.
Oh, that makes sense.
I mean, that is the downside to us recording this so after the fact. Because, I mean, we started talking about making this podcast, like, when Boys and Girls in the City first
Right.
hit Netflix. But it took us a while in order to actually, like... Because, of
Do
course,
it.
you go through that to actually do it and, like, plan out how it's going to be and think of a name and commission the art and blah, 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 blah. Since then, a bunch of seasons have aired.
There's so many, but there's so many episodes to watch. I can't wait.
Yeah. But, so we're kind of in the position where if we had done it 2 years ago or whatever, when it first aired, we'd be like, what's that mean? But, you know, now we know that a future season will be filmed in Hawaii, I think,
Yep.
Aloha State.
Yep.
So, kind of have a feeling of what that's going to be. So it looks like Makoto is getting the boot, bringing in a new guy.
Getting in a new boy. Can't
Woo!
wait. Can't wait.
So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. That'll be exciting.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's that. That episode will be out September 30th, and it'll be our 10th episode.
Woo! 10
Woo!
episodes. Pew, 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 pew,
Pew,
pew.
pew, 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 pew.
It's actually been a while, but it has come up so quickly. How time passes. I think we say this every end of like a lot of the
We do.
episodes,
We do.
but still,
Um,
it's just going by so fast.
But yeah, so hopefully we'll do we'll probably have a long episode. I think we'll have a lot to talk about. I'll answer like any questions or emails. So please, send us anything.
Send them in.
Send them in,
Please do.
because I've gotten a couple, but I would like to have more. So we'll have like a special double-digit episode. And then we'll have our normal commentary.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
It'll be
it'll
fun.
be good.
It'll be good.
It'll be good. Anything else you want to add?
Nope, I think we covered everything. All the
Yep.
important stuff anyway.
So, as usual, please rate and review us on iTunes. And thank you so much to everyone who already has. Please follow us on Twitter, send us comments, like us on Facebook, and then email us at terraceneighborspodcast@gmail.com with your questions, comments, observations, pictures of your animals, just anything. Talk to us. We
Yeah.
want this to be a conversation.
Interactive
Interactive.
and engaging.
And engaging, yeah. And then, of course, you can go to our website, terraceneighbors.com, for all of the links and all of that. I don't have anything else to add.
No, just, thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you guys all next time.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 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 Pew. 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 Pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
Brr, 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 brr.
Pew, 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 pew.